Hello and very warm good afternoon. This is Professor Dr. Ahmed. Here's a very short video that we are going to record to discuss the first two chapters of the novel Moth by Mohsen Hamid. I should say it's a very unique novel by him. It portrays the history, the present, and the past of Lahore. And for this purpose, a large number of characters have been talked about and discussed about because out of which we have just two characters more important, that is Mumtaz and then it is Dara. In order to know about these characters and the details, I have already recorded two videos. The students can go for these videos on YouTube and find a lot about the introduction of this novel. Right now, it is the time to discuss the chapter 1 and chapter 2. Chapter 1 and chapter 2 are very unique regarding the construction of the plot of the novel. That first of all, we are told merely what is the current situation, like Browning, like Sarah Solari, like the writer of God of Small Things, Arundhati Roy, all have the similar kind of style that they picture one moment, which is a critical moment, and after that keep on explaining that moment. Here also the same thing is done. In chapter 1, we have the cell of a jail, of a police station, and later on we have the court. The question is that why would the hero reach here? What has happened with him? All these questions will be answered later on throughout the story. But the current moment, the critical moment that we need to discuss in chapter 1 and in chapter 2. For this purpose, I'm taking you to chapter 1. Chapter 1 is here, and the very first paragraph it reads like that: My cell is full of shadows, hanging naked from a wire in the hall outside. A bulb cast light cut by rusted bars into thin strips that snake along the concrete floor and up the back wall. People like stains dissolve into the grayness. I sit alone, the drying smell of a man's inside burning in my nostrils. Out of my imagination, the footsteps of a guard approach become real when a darkness silhouettes itself behind the bars and a shadow falls like blindness over the shadows in the cell. I hear the man who had been heaving scuttle into a corner, and then there is quiet. Now, these two paragraphs are particular in the sense that they reflect very much the poor possible condition of the police stations and the jail cells of Pakistani people. And the country is very hot, so that is why the smells of the people could be had, and alongside that, the precariousness and the scarcity of these places and the demonishness of these places can also be felt from the description that Daru is inside the cell and he is able to watch the shadows, not the brightness of the light. And on the other hand, there is the appearance of one guard which possibly may be approaching towards his cell, but he has not approached yet. So that's the moment in which Daru is right now present inside the jail, inside the cell. Question is again and again there why he is there, what is the matter that he has come here. We don't know. The story of the novel is going to explain that. In order to find more details where Daru is, let us go to the other passages and see what other passages are saying. For example, passage number 3, which is colored passage, it says, I hesitate before I rise on my feet and to walk towards the bars, my back straight and chin up, but my elbows tucked in close about the soft lower part of my ribcage. A hand slides out of the guard's silhouette, offering me something, and I reach for it slowly, expecting it to be pulled back, surprised when it is not. I take hold of it, feeling the envelope smooth and sharp against my fingers. The guard walks away, pausing only to raise his hand and pluck delicately at the wire of a bulb, sending the light into an uneasy shivering. Someone curses, and I shut my eyes again against the dizziness. When I open them again, the shadows are almost still, and I can make out the grime on my fingers against the white of the envelope. So this is the paragraph which goes to throw light on the system in which the Daru is present, and unfortunately we are also present. He is reflecting and telling that even in the cell, it was possible that somewhere somebody should be able to send an envelope to him without discussing what is inside the envelope. Definitely, it is not the right thing, because if it has been the right thing, surely it would not come so secretly. A policeman comes and delivers him the envelope, and this is possible in the jails of Pakistan, the cells of Pakistan. So, system is so weak and so upsetting, and so much trying to get money and bribes here and there in such a way that everything is possible. So Daru is inside the cell where nothing should reach him, but the very policeman sends him, gives him with his own hands one envelope, and we need to see what is in that envelope. For this purpose, let us go again into the text and see what is there. For example, the writer says, "My name in the handwriting of a woman I know well. I don't read it, not even when I notice the damp imprints my fingers begin to leave in the paper. You sit behind a high desk wearing a black robe and a white wig tastefully powdered. The chapter two has begun. So in that way, one is able to understand when you read the last line of the first chapter. I don't read it, not even when I notice the damp imprints. My fingers begin to leave in the paper. Two things, that is, a woman's writing on the envelope. So Daru knows it very well. Who's that woman? What has been done by that? And in the same way, when he didn't read who was sending and everything like that, but he could feel that there is something inside the envelope, and that envelope is very useful for him in order to conduct smoking, that smoking which can put off his brain and senses in order to make him drenched into that smoke and feel high on that. So in this way the first chapter ends, and same is the case with the second chapter. In the first chapter, if we have the description of the police system that's so weak, and in the second chapter again we shall be witnessing something else, but this time it is the judgment system which has been criticized, which has been talked about, which has been discussed. For example, Daru now is inside the court, in the room of the court, and there possibly what we can expect, same is being expected by the writer, and writer is giving us the details of that. Let's see. It says the cast begins to enter, filling in this chamber of dim tube, lights, and slow turning ceiling fan. Murad Badshah, the partner in the crime, remorseless, large, staggeringly, stutteringly eloquent Aurangzeb, the best friend, righteous, treacherous, impeccably dressed, unfairly sexy, and radiant, moth burning Mumtaz, wife, mother, and lover. Three players in this trial of intimate witness and the liar. So, very beautiful and very interesting style of introducing the characters which are also present in the same room. For example, judge is first of all told that he's present there. Alongside that, we find another partner of the crime, that is Murad Badshah, who's been arrested equally with Daru. And Aurangzeb, his friend, is there, and his wife is again there. So at least one word has been spoken about every character in order to make us realize what these characters are, what a bombastic type of introduction has been provided, not by paragraphs, not by sentences, but just by words. Let me show you the very words. For example, here you see the paragraph is showing Murad Badshah, first of all. That says the partner in the crime, remorselessly large, staggeringly, stutteringly eloquent. So that is the remorselessly large. That is the body mass of Murad Badshah, we come to know that this type of villainous character he could possibly be. Then Aurangzeb is the best friend, righteously treacherous. Not only is treacherous, but is very, unfairly sexy as well. So that's a kind of description of Aurangzeb. Then comes Mumtaz, his wife, and she has been told to be radiant and moth burning. These two characteristics of Mumtaz have been introduced. This will be explained further in the story, how she is radiant and how she is moth burning, but she is also told to be a mother and a lover as well. No, wife could be mother, a wife could be wife, then how she could be a lover? And that is the very tinge which the writer wants to convey to us, that she has come in the courtroom as a wife, as a mother, but then as a lover as well, definitely that of Daru. So this is all the characters are introduced in the courtroom, and the judge is also present. Let us see what verdicts come or what styles are done in order to increase further about the description of the crime of Daru, the punishment of Daru, and then that of the releasing of Daru. All these things we shall be seeing in this chapter. So going down, we will be able to find something more which is very interesting. For example, here, three lines, then a pause, a silence, all eyes turn to the door. He enters the accused Darashpur Shizad, a hard man with showed eyes, manacled, cuffed, disheveled, proud, erect, a man capable of anything and afraid of nothing. Two guards accompany him, and yes, they are brutes, but they would offer scant reassurance if this man were not chained. He is the terrible, almost hero of a great story, powerful, tragic, and dangerous. He alone meets your eyes. Now, this is something which is being talked about the protagonist of the story. Daru, for example, is not a simple person who has come in the court. First of all, the description is done with the help of the judge's observation, and same description is judge's observation about Daru. For example, the full name is Dara Shiku Shizad, and he is entering into the room, and his condition is that of the manacled and cuffed and disheveled person. But still, he's very proud in his looks. Although he's manacled, he's cuffed, but he is erect and is the person who is not afraid of anything, and he is able to exchange eyes with anybody, and he's not afraid of the guards as well. Even the guards are afraid of him. So terrible, powerful, and tragic he's going to be. He's such a dangerous type of person that nobody is going to talk to him. Such is the introduction of a young man who is going to be the protagonist of the story. I mean, he's not a simple type of person who is shown Nadeem type of hero, but in fact, it is the Mustafa Qureshi type of hero of Punjabi movies that is being talked about. Well built, very courageous, very capable, and that type of person from whom other people are afraid of. Not he is afraid of anything. Such a person, along with that Murad Badshah, both heavily built, have come into the court, and judge is going to give the decision. In courts, what happens? The lawyers give argument from one side and the other side. So in that way, the arguments have been told by using the word "my lord" again and again, and that is the servility with which the people would address the judge, and judge would be feeling really very happy on that. So arguments are given, and these arguments continue. At the end of the arguments, we will be able to find what is the outcome of all that. For example, the ending paragraph reads, "There can be no doubt here, my lord, no more facts exist to be found. The balancing of scales awaits, my lord. Redress for wrong is come. Tender humanity screams in fear, confronted by such a monster, and conscience weeps with rage. The law licks its lip at the prospect of punishing such a one, and justice can shut its eyes. Today, so easy it's the task." Then the prosecutor pauses, his words leaping about the courtroom like shadows cast by the unsheathed knives in the flickering light of some dying candle. For this, my lord, is his crime. So that is the end of chapter 2 as well. Next time we should be talking about chapter 3. But how does the chapter 2 end? It is about the decision which the judge would take, but there is no decision told to us. Only the argument of the lawyers and the advocates have been repeated. The argument is that this person Murad, not Murad, but actually Dara Shihzad has killed a boy on the road, and that boy was not killed by him. Actually, he was killed by the friend or the, but he's taking all the blame on him because he knows that he will be relieved, or there will be kind of bail on him, and he will be able to go outside. So the other lawyer says that he should be punished severely because he's killed a child. Still another lawyer says that it could be stopped at as well, because it could be the mistake of the boy also, not the mistake of the man, which is Dara Shihzad. So in that way, what our court system is, how some culprits who are really culprits may be getting benefit out of the arguments of the lawyer and advocate and get free out of that, and same would be the case with our people who are innocent, but the arguments of the lawyer can make them entangled in the chain of the law, and ultimately they may be fixed by the law and punished by the law as well. So wrong can be justified as right, and right can be justified as wrong. So that is what is going on in the system of Pakistan, and this is what Dara Shiku is taking the benefit of, and this is what the writer is trying to point out, is trying to tell what the system of police is, what the system of judgment is. So all these things combined together, not a good picture of Pakistan, but a very bleak picture of Pakistan is being pointed out. So in that way, two chapters which are really very small chapters, they have ended, and that is the start of the book, and that is indeed the critical moment of the book from where the book is going to start. So now we will be able to get the answers: who is Mumtaz, who is Aurangzeb, and what is the matter with the Dara Shiku, how he deals with these people, and why does he call this woman Mumtaz as his lover, and what are the other things related to that. Same is the case with the Murad Badshah, who is the partner of the crime shown in these two chapters. The critical moment does not show anything, but later on we will be able to find what is the connection of Dara Shiku with Murad Badshah and why he is the partner of the crime. So that is the situation from where the story is going to begin. Definitely everyone wants to know what is going to become ahead, and that is the story's success. That is the success of the writer, that it is that he's creating the interest in the mind of the reader, and that's a very good way of starting the novel. Now we have to wait for the other things which come and follow till we read chapter number 3. So far, two chapters have been talked about, and the distinction of these chapters have also been discussed here. And the situation is the police station, and later on it's the courtroom in which the protagonist is present and his fate is to be decided. So that's it from me for this day. Hopefully seeing you in some next video. Thank you for watching. Thank you very much for giving time and understanding something. If you understand anything, do not fail to hesitate on the Facebook link on YouTube. The comments will be suspended. They will not be available, but the comments can be done on Facebook link given there. Thank you, student. Thank you, everybody. See you in some next video.